Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. Today I have got an awesome video in store for you. We are headed to the Rugged Mountain RV factory. I left Salt Lake City this morning doing the 5.5 hour drive to Boise, and then tomorrow we're going to go check out how truck campers are built at Rugged Mountain. Rugged Mountain is a relatively new truck camper brand. They have a very unique niche, which is they specialize in building flatbed truck campers for CM flatbed specifically. They've got two models that I know of that are flatbed. One is a triple slide, which I think is the Denali 3S, and then their newest one, which is I think the X14. That one, the X14, is a non-slide, but both built on a CM flatbed. Tonight we're staying at Cracker Barrel in Boise, so I'm excited for Cracker Barrel. Actually, one, I'm starving. Two, who knows how much longer they're going to be around, you know? Restaurants like that are definitely a dying breed, and they let us sleep there overnight, so maybe we'll get both dinner and breakfast at Cracker Barrel just to make sure we're putting some money in their pockets. I am not going to waste much time. I'm going into Cracker Barrel. I'm going to put on some warmer clothing and then go get some grub. One of the things I really like to do is leave light on in the camper so that it still looks like someone's inside there before I go into a place like Cracker Barrel. Or anyway. Hello, just one please. So we got a New York sirloin and shrimp with steamed rice, and then I let the waitress choose my other side because I don't really know what I want. So I said Russian roulette, let her choose. Oh, that was so good. Ooh, hit the spot. All right, let's get out of here and back into the camper. I couldn't help but get some Sour Patch Kids. They were looking right at me the whole time I was eating. I swear they chose the table just so that I was staring at the delicious Sour Patch Kids all night. I really wanted ice cream, but there's no Walmart around, so no easy opportunity at some Ben & Jerry's. And for the rest of the night, this is where you will find me, watching Truckhouse Timmy on TV and getting ready to fall asleep. I'm exhausted after spending the last 2 weeks kicking butt on projects on this camper. 99% sure I got COVID, hence the reason why my voice sounds hoarse. And then a 6-hour drive today. I am beat, so I'll pick you guys up in the morning before we go to Rugged Mountain RV. Bye. Oh, good morning. What a great night's sleep that was. Desperately needed a really good night's sleep. I think I slept 10 hours and it was incredibly refreshing. This morning, before we head over to Rugged Mountain RV, since we got some time to kill, I am gonna go to the gym. Planet Fitness, here we come. If you've never slept at a Cracker Barrel, or you didn't know you could sleep at Cracker Barrels at all, they are basically the upscale version of Walmart, in my opinion, where Walmart, you know, allows RVers to stay there overnight in some cities, but Walmart is oftentimes open until midnight or 24 hours. They're also oftentimes located in louder areas, whereas Cracker Barrels are oftentimes or always really situated near hotels and highway exits. So yeah, you'll have some highway noise, but The hotel aspect around it certainly brings in, let's say, less riffraff than a Walmart parking lot will. So that's why I like Cracker Barrels, and they serve a hot meal, as you guys saw last night. I like to think of Planet Fitness as my home away from home. I go there 3-4 days a week when it's available to me in terms of locations. And this one here in Boise, I've been to at least once, if not twice. It's actually kind of funny when you travel around like we do. You realize that you're gonna go to the same places twice, and you're gonna remember how awesome they are. Boise being one of them. I love Boise. It's just one of those towns where it's a city, but it's not a big city, so not overwhelming, not really crime-ridden. Boise, I love it. I would move here. If I had to choose a city, it would be my choice. People often ask us when we meet them in person, and you know, they don't know what the inside of the camper looks like, do you shower in there? And the answer is yes, we have a shower, but do we actively shower in here? Not when we're in the US. In the US, this right here and gyms like it are our place of taking a shower. Last summer we were working in Colorado. We got a gym membership at a local gym, and the plan is to do the same thing this summer in Alaska. During that time, we will pause our Planet Fitness memberships so that we're not paying for them, but then 3 months later, when we get done with our work gigs, get back on the road, Planet Fitness becomes our gym and shower situation again. How's it going, man? Good, thanks. Oh yeah, feeling good, feeling fresh. Workout's over with, and we are getting ready to head to Rugged Mountain RV. So I don't know if you guys can see a difference or hear a difference right away, but mid-video upgrade, I just got a new camera yesterday while I was at Costco in Salt Lake, the world's largest Costco for now. And I got the new DJI Osmo 3. It's not super new, but newest. And I'm no longer using a GoPro as my primary camera. The big reason is because, as you guys have seen, like, the drone footage comes out super crisp and clear. I use a DJI Mavic Mini 4 Pro, and so I figured maybe I had to fall in love with the DJI Osmo. And I think it's going to be even better in low light situations, like inside the cab here or inside the camper. And so that's my little upgrade for this video. We are 17 minutes from Rugged Mountain, so just enjoying these nice, lovely Idaho landscapes, rolling hills and stuff like that around me, and it's pretty stoked to check out some fancy truck campers that you don't get to see too often. Looking like the X14 is off the truck, and it looks like we got a 3S, Denali 3S. Let's go find someone. So the other day when I was at Rugged Mountain RV, my water pump decided to fail on me. The pressure switch inside of it decided to stop working, and now we need to replace it. And whenever I need anything from my truck camper in terms of replacement parts or accessories, I'm always going to be calling eTrailer.com. That's what I did when it came to this water pump. I called them up and I asked them for a reasonably priced drop-in replacement water pump that would have low power consumption and hopefully be quieter than this one. And so what eTrailer recommended was the SureFlow 42 series water pump. This should be a nice, easy drop-in replacement. It has everything that I'm looking for. It is a low amperage draw, self-priming, and quieter than my existing water pump. So I'm excited to get this thing in there and get back to having proper water pressure inside our camper. Water pumps are one of those items that whether you are a full-timer or going out on weekends and long trips, you should probably carry a spare of, because losing your water in the middle of the night is 0% fun, and having two with you for such a vital item such as water, you kind of can't go wrong. So when you're looking for a place to get your replacement water pump or a spare for all your summertime trips, I would 100% recommend eTrailer.com. They have a wide variety of different water pumps, and they have all sorts of other RV accessories, everything from 12-volt TVs to cooktops to replacement axles, wheels, tires, you name it, eTrailer's got it. So be sure to use the link in the description below, as that helps us out a ton. So whether it's this water pump here that you've seen us using, our Max Air fan that we installed recently, our upgraded tail lights, our torque lift turnbuckles, any one of those items we'll have in the description below with a direct link, and it helps us out massively if you use those links. Let's go check out some campers. And then we'll go check out how they're built. Are you guys ready for this? Check this thing out. This is the X14. This is a flatbed model designed to go specifically on a 5500 or 6500 if you're a Chevy guy. But this thing is a beast, and it's really cool because it's similar-ish to an earth roamer in terms of its interior layout. So the X14 is a side entry, which makes it sort of earth roamer-ish. There's some other truck camper brands that do it too, but when you get in here, you've got this awesome rear dinette configuration, which I can fully see myself lounging in. This spot in particular is where you would find me, posted up in the corner, treating this thing like a couch and being able to actually stretch out. Now, keep in mind, we are not in the market for a new camper right now. I am here because of the fact that I know Lynn from having met him in the past, and also Jesse, and I think that these truck campers are really neat and very unique, and I think that they have an awesome place in the truck camper market because they're finished much more like a house rather than finished like they were designed by a couple of old guys from the 80s that were just like, we're gonna put as much dark wood as we can in this place. Here, it's all white, beautifully done craftsmanship, and yeah, pretty unique layout. So let's show you some more stuff. So when you first walk in, you've got all of your controls on this particular Garmin keypad here. You can do your lights, you can dim everything. All of the stuff that you would have regular switches for are done with this computer. Now, you do have redundancy inside the camper where there's regular light switches around. And then as you move forward in the X14, you've got a really wide hallway here, let's call it, where your kitchen is on one side, you got your fridge over here on this side, Furrion, 10 cubic foot, all electric. This whole camper does not have propane in it at all. The heat and hot water are diesel. You can also do gasoline if you had a gas-powered truck. So one of many unique things that they're doing in this camper is a split bathroom. So you've got your shower on one side, which is over here, full stand-up shower. For reference, I am 6'2". I've got plenty of clearance above my head. And then in the bathroom, you've got a full-size toilet set up there. Toilet, you can do a composting toilet these days. One of the many benefits of doing custom truck camper building like they do here at Rugged Mountain. Really nice sink area rather than it being just generic like most truck campers are. In the bed area, I'm guessing this is a queen, maybe a full. Plenty of storage over here on the left. More storage in the back. This actually has more storage in the bed area than our truck camper has by quite a bit. The angled roof is really smart. That way you can have a ton of headspace while also having decent aerodynamics. And like we mentioned before, everything in here is electric in terms of cooking. You do not have propane, so dual induction cooktop here, microwave down there, convection oven, I'm sure. Really deep farmhouse style sink, stainless, similar style faucet that you would put in your house. A real backsplash instead of a stick-on kind of vinyl. And these windows in the back here are just amazing. I don't think I've seen a truck camper with this many upper cabinets in a really long time either. I feel like there's a small niche part of truck camper world where they're doing away with upper cabinets, and that's probably because they need to figure out a way to also offer you decent headspace, but in this X14, you have both of those things. Oh, snacks. Thanks, Jesse. They took this truck camper down to the truck camper rally in Arizona this winter, so still loaded up with all the goodies. I ate 2 packets of their fruit snacks. I haven't had fruit snacks in forever, so I feel like a little kid again. So I want to touch more on this computer system. I am not going to be able to display to you all the capabilities that this thing has, because I'm just a guy walking into a truck camper not knowing a lot, but Lynn and Jesse were telling me a little bit more about it earlier, and you can control so much in this thing. You out here?
Yo.
Hey, tell me how to do some stuff on this thing for the camera. Because I'm doing a mediocre job of explaining what it's capable of.
Let's see. It'll control all your lighting. It'll tell you your tanks. So this is diesel heat, and diesel hot water. So shows you how much diesel you have. Your gray, fresh. You can control your awning lights, your exterior lights. You can extend.
All your security cameras.
Security cameras. It's got 4 cameras. This also replaces the Victron screen. So your power here is all your Victron information that you would normally have on the Victron screen.
Still learning how to use this new camera.
That's
there we go.
cool.
Get rid of the, yeah. Sweet, there we go. Better.
So here's your typical Victron information. You can turn your inverter on and off. It'll tell you what your loads are if you are connected to or running any AC, solar input, all that sort of thing. This is an issue we're still trying to work out. This is a portable screen, and so this thing actually communicates wirelessly to the main screen, which is mounted in the bedroom, and it's fixed. That's where all the information is stored. This one's pulling it in wirelessly, and we're having a little bit of a hard time having this thing maintain its connection wirelessly. So it's something that Garmin's working on. There's some quirks to work out.
I like the fact that it's removable. That's kind of the most unique part of it, I think, for a lot of consumers, is like, oh, I can carry around, the thing that controls my whole camper.
Yeah, so like the idea behind it was there's 4 cameras on all 4 sides of the camper, and you could take that into the truck, be able to see those cameras at any time driving down the road. If the camera's off the truck, you can still see the cameras, and then also you have control over your air conditioner. Eventually the heating system, right now the diesel heat is being worked on to get that functioning, but for now, like the air conditioner, so you could, say you're pulling into a campsite in an hour and it's going to be hot, you can throw on that air conditioner as you're driving down the road, get the place cooled down, or
that's sweet.
Heat once that's working. But there's quite a few little tweaks that we have to do with Garmin to get it fully functional. So we're just getting it tested right now. So this is like the diesel heat system, hot water and heat, and so eventually that will be on this screen, but for now we still have to run that control unit for that system.
Gotcha. And not to get into the weeds on too much technical stuff, but the water heating system is way different than what I expected in terms of the diesel heater. Like, I'm used to a regular forced air diesel heater, maybe blowing hot air into a heat exchanger of sorts and then containing the hot water. But this is much more like a home furnace where the diesel heater is keeping the water hot in its own little tiny area, and it's not actually blowing hot air across it. Am I verbalizing that correctly? Yeah.
Works like a boiler.
Works like a boiler. So totally different than what I anticipated, but very, very unique technology going into the heat configuration of this thing. All right, so before we take you into the triple slide here, I'm gonna show you the factory so that Lynn can close up shop, because they're being kind enough to let me be in here after hours and have the lights on and stuff. But this is where Rugged Mountain RV builds all these great campers. They also build tiny homes, which I didn't know either. I'm learning a whole bunch while I'm here. The assembly line looks like this. So this is, I believe, going to be a Denali, so the triple slide configuration, which is definitely one of their most popular models. It seems like, according to the assembly line configuration here. One slide, rear slide going out the back, bathroom. Everything that Rugged Mountain does is a wood construction, so the pros to that would be you don't have condensation that develops like you do in a lot of aluminum framing truck campers. The con to that is that they are definitely a little bit heavier. They're super well built and very robust, but they are not ultra lightweight campers. And so as you go down the assembly line here, you see them go from the most, original state of unfinished to now we've got spray foam in this one that has yet to be shaved off. That'll probably be next. You got some shaved spray foam over here on this one. And then you see how they look almost complete. So this has all the slides inside, doors in, jacks on, and almost ready for graphics. I don't know how the inside looks. Let's go find out. Okay, so this one is looking basically complete. I'll take you guys into the one that's outside rather than this one, since the stairs are all closed up and everything all nicey nice, but nobody wants anything other than a triple slide right now? All right, let's go check out the Denali before it gets dark. The Denali is what you guys saw inside under construction. Two of them that still had just, the exterior with wood, and then the one that was almost finished. Well, here's the inside of a finished one. Be prepared to be mind blown on how big and spacious and well built this thing is. Can't even do justice with the camera on how big this truck camper is. Let me put this down. Ready? Watch. You guys are in the far corner of the truck camper on top of the stove. I'm way over here. This thing's massive. And you didn't even notice when I came in that there was a bathroom door there, because it's really, really nicely done and it looks like it belongs in a house. It's a bathroom. Is huge. So in this unit, we've got a composting toilet, full shower, super nice, and then sink. And again, for size reference, 6'2" guy, 200-pounder, standing in the shower. This curtain comes all the way across. Lynn was telling me about how they've designed it so that the shower curtain protrudes away from the shower at your upper body, but then tapers at the lower in order to make all the water stay inside of the shower while also giving you the most amount of space. Other neat little things are like this sink here in the bathroom. Lynn and I were talking before about how I don't use our sink in our truck camper because it's just not laid out ergonomically for a real human being to use it. Whereas in these rugged mountains, they give you a nice porcelain bowl. It's at a height that's appropriate. I could actually brush my teeth in here. I could wash my hands in here like a normal person. So the woodwork in here is another part of the rugged mountain camper that I think is next level. You don't have any truck campers made by, I won't do names, but the major conglomerates that look like this with like beautiful wood finish. These little buttons for accent. The color combination here, you have white with wood grain rather than just being like dark wood cabinets and stuff like that, like most of them. You've got the Norcold. I think that's the 10 cubic foot unit. It looks huge. And then up in the bedroom, you've got a slightly different entry than other truck campers where you've kind of got a little walkway to get in. But once you're up in the bed, let's go check it out. Oh. Plenty of space, although you would need to, maybe move around a person in order to get in and out. Tons of headroom. You could absolutely have pillows back here. Now, one difference between our truck camper and this would be when I sit up in my truck camper and I have pillows behind me, I don't do that. And that would be just some getting used to for myself if we ever switch to something with a little bit less headroom by the bed, because I'll sit up in bed and edit YouTube videos and stuff, whereas I don't know how I do that here, but I guess you don't need to because you have two couches instead of just one. Couch number one, very comfy. Oh my gosh. Good night. Yeah, this is where I would be on the couch. Oh man, this is really nice. Good news. I don't have enough money to buy one of these, but it is sweet. I mean, can you imagine, like, you just pull up at some beautiful BLM land, put all your slides out, and then this is what you have for your inside living space. You've even got an island, which is done before in truck campers, but usually they come out like a big giant peninsula. They're not a freestanding independent island like this one is. Butcher block countertops, just freaking magnificent. They do build a really, really nice camper. And so if you've got a discretionary $100,000 to $150,000, you could own one just like this. And you should. In this unit, they don't have the Garmin set up. You've got your regular Victron set up for monitoring all your energy. You've got this guy here, which is your hot water heater and your heat for the camper, the diesel heater that we found in the X14 also. The other couch is more of a love seat setup, so plenty of space for two people, and just like in the X14, upper cabinets all over the place. So this model is the Denali 3S, if I'm getting that correctly. I don't believe it's the 3S Denali 3S. And yeah, tons of upper cabinets. Ooh, they're really strong too, so you know that that's not gonna open up on you just going down the road. Pretty sweet. All right, well, time to go cook something. What are you doing, buddy? Come on. All right, well, I am gonna make a quick meal here before going and hanging out with my buddy Lynn and his wife. They've got a nice eagle cap. So I'm gonna go spend some time socializing after we eat. Tonight for dinner, we are going to do burgers with pulled pork and bacon, which sounds ridiculous and probably will be ridiculous, but I'm excited. Bacon's gonna be a case of 2 slices for the burger, 1 slice for right now. gonna be smoky in here. Gotta save the bacon fat. If you watch the channel regularly, you would know that it's pretty common that we're making smash burgers in this house. They're quick, they're easy, they're delicious, and other than the bun, they're relatively healthy. I haven't done smash burgers in the camper with pulled pork on them yet, so that's gonna be kind of neat. I was on a kick last week or two while I was in Salt Lake where I was taking ground pork and mixing it with ground beef, and that was a pretty delicious smash burger. And then I took a over easy egg and put that on top, and that was really, really good. The pork almost needed the egg in order for it to all have the right flavor profile, because the pork by itself with the ground beef, the pork overpowered it, egg balanced it. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Maybe we'll do those at some point on the channel. But for now, smash burgers. For tonight's cheese, we have provolone. One slice for the burger, one slice for me. The key ingredient for making this a slightly more unique and special burger is this very weird looking pulled pork from Costco, which when you pull it out, it really looks kind of gross, but once it's in a pan, you break it all up a little bit. Looks great, tastes great. Oh, I should have done the bacon underneath. Forgot about our bacon here, folks. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna layer up the bacon on the bottom because I did not plan accordingly. It should have went above the burger and below the pulled pork, but whatever. Okay, and then transfer that over there. And the last topper, onions. Now, I am gonna make a mess of that because look at it. These are either gonna make the sandwich or break the sandwich. So I got Japanese barbecue and Japanese mayo. Now, is this gonna go together well? I'm not really sure. Am I gonna try it anyway? Yeah, because that's how great things are invented. All right, mayo on the bun. Barbecue sauce is gonna go over this guy. Oh yeah. I feel like the term food porn is very applicable because like food is, in this case, I mean it's a mess, but it's an erotic mess. Da, 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 da. Check it out. 2 smash burger patties, pulled pork, 2 slices of bacon, onions, Japanese mayo, and Japanese barbecue sauce. Is it a fail or is it amazing? It's very good. But those burgers I was describing before, where it was a blend of ground beef and ground pork, those were better. Those were actually better. Oh, I don't know what it's missing. See if that jazzes up our flavor here. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a whiner, but it's good. But not like earth-shatteringly good like I thought it would be. I'm gonna eat the rest of my messy burger and then go hang out with Lynn and Marlena. So see you guys in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. Day 2 here at Rugged Mountain. I wanted to come back in through both of these truck campers today just to make sure that I covered everything that I could possibly think of in terms of a walkthrough, which I probably still won't. But let's go back through this X14. So we've got a lot of upper cabinets over here, 3 in the backside, and then you've also got storage underneath the bench of the dinette. Now that storage is limited. Some of that storage space is utilized for a lot of your components, and you have these drawers that will pull out. Let me sit down here, my old knees hurt. Oh, sorry. You have these drawers that pull out for storage underneath, and then you've got another one over on this side. Pulls right out. You've got upper storage cabinets, 3 along the back side here. One big one back here, which is where you saw me eating fruit snacks yesterday. And then 3 more upper cabinets, so a total of 7 uppers. The fridge is a Furrion fridge. Almost all of the primary kitchen components are Furrion in the Rugged Mountain, which is sweet. I mean, just a humongous amount of space. Probably 35% more space than what I have in our fridge. You've also got the pull-out pantry, which is pretty conventional in truck campers, but this one is way bigger, way bigger. Up here is just a little bit of storage, nothing too crazy. Then you get to the bathroom. The bathroom is very unique. I love the fact that they've split the bathroom itself up. So rather than trying to stuff a full shower, toilet, sink all into one space, you've got toilet and sink on this side, and then you've got shower on this side. So your walkway to your bed is right through the middle. Let's check out the bathroom. So this might seem like an arbitrary test, but for a lot of people, sitting down in the bathroom in a truck camper is not terribly comfortable. A lot of them, they really shoehorn the bathroom in there and don't design it for guys that are wider or taller or both. And this has plenty of space. Fit in here no problem. Could do all the business that I gotta do. Wash my hands while I'm doing number 2, and very comfortable. The shower is another spot where they have really designed it very well for taller people, bigger people. You can still move around. If I close this door, I still have plenty of room to do all my stuff in here. Lather up, shower up. One thing we don't have in our camper is that separation of the shower and the bathroom, which is part of why we probably don't shower all that much in our rig, because you kind of have to do the whole set your bathroom up, take your shower, dry your shower off, and then put it all kind of back together in order for you to use it as a bathroom. Whereas if I had a dedicated shower, I would probably shower more frequently. Now the bed area itself is a little bit different than our truck camper, a little bit maybe tighter, but it's also got way more cabinet space and way more storage space. The good part is it's plenty long, so for me to sleep, I would have no issues. I would not find myself with my feet hanging off the bed, which is very important. I would probably want to add a TV over here, just have something on the wall so that you can watch TV up in bed. But they've got the whole Garmin system integrated up here too in the bed, so you can shut off all your lights, control all your systems of the camper from the bed area and also of the in the dinette area. Or you could carry around the tablet itself and be completely wireless. Couple nice things. You got your 12-volt outlets up here, so you don't have to necessarily be running your inverter. The storage is ample. Big hanging closet. And I'm guessing this means we have his and hers hanging closets. Oh no, this one's pretty cool. Jesse told me about this yesterday. I gotta show you. All right, so you see this cabinet here, right? Ready? When you go back into the bathroom, if you pull out this, that is the same cabinet. So I don't know if I'd be loading up like clothes on one half so that I could access it from there, and then toiletries and stuff in here. It would be a unique place for me to try and figure out how I would optimize that space best, but just another example of how Rugged Mountain is doing things different, which is my favorite aspect of this company. And they're not paying me for like any of this. Just so you guys know, like I'm not working for Rugged Mountain. I just know the guy Lynn, who's their production manager, and I met Jesse and Anka before, so I happen to be in town, and I'm like, oh, let's go check out some cool campers. People will love to see it on YouTube. So all these opinions are like my opinions. If we're doing critical opinions, I voiced this to Lynn a little bit. I like the way that the cab over looks from the outside, but on the inside, see how I butt my head here? Like, I like being able to sit up in bed and lean against my pillows and work on my laptop and stuff. And so this is kind of a bummer. I do wish that like the headspace stayed a little bit more flat towards the front of the cab over. They explained that part of that is because of the nose cone design. It's very unique to them. And when you're driving down the road, for example, like I can look and see a Lance, an Arctic Fox, a Northern Light, and know what brand it is. And so there's the brand recognition that comes with the nose cap. I get it. But on a functional side, I hit my head, and I don't like that. And then wrapping up storage, you've got storage over here, which is pretty traditional in a truck camper. Another one back here. And one more on this side of the bed, which would be my side. One more thing I noticed as I got out of the bed is the step here has storage in it, which is sweet. It also has some of your ducting for your diesel heater coming in here. That way you're getting nice even airflow around the whole cabin of the camper. And the big U-shaped dinette is definitely one of the biggest selling points of this X14 for me, is because not only is it a dinette, but it honestly could be a couch. Like, this table's removable, or even if you just left it in place, the ability for me to be a tall guy, I can sleep in this thing easy peasy lemon squeezy, but more importantly, I can sit in the corner and just kind of post up and chill, watch TV up here, and feel like I'm actually in a house. Whereas in our current camper, the dinette, like I just kind of rotate sideways and treat it like a sort of lazy boy chair, but it's not comfortable. And this is much more comfortable. If I were to give any feedback, I would maybe recommend that the bench that I'm on be a little bit deeper. Most people, I think, want their cushion to come very close to the back of their knee. And it's almost there, but my tush would fit better if the bench were a little wider. That's all. Just a big bum. And so before I go back into the Denali to do round 2 of filming that, just in case I missed anything for y'all, let's go through the spec sheet on the Rugged Mountain X14. Basement length, which is the area that you're standing inside of the cockpit area, the living quarters, is 14 foot. And the overall length is 21 feet 8 inches. Exterior height is 8'6". Now that is from the bottom of the flatbed deck to the top. The interior height is 6'8", so tons of room for those tall guys. Freshwater tank, 80 gallons. Gray water tank is 77 gallons. The black water tank is 35 gallons. Now the dry weight on this thing is 5,325 pounds. And the folks at Rugged Mountain, like, they're not making any qualms about the weight of the rig. They're telling you right up front, like, don't show up here with anything less than an F550, Ram 5500, Chevy 5500. Don't be trying to show up with like a 3500 dually thinking that you're going to throw a flatbed on it and this is going to work. Because one, the length overall is not built for that. It's built for an 80-inch cab to axle, which is a measurement within the truck world where you measure from the back of the cab to the rear wheel, and that correlates to the length of your frame and the length of your bed. So a 12-foot bed would be what goes under this, and you'd have to have the appropriate truck to do so. Now the Denali, I'm not sure whether it requires a 60-inch cab to axle or an 84. I would imagine it's probably 84, or maybe they do it in both. I'll find out and put a little thingy right here about clarifying that. But this is the triple slide unit, so this is your most comparable to a Host Mammoth, Eagle Cap 1165 or 1200 that is now discontinued. And you're going to find that the interior fit and finish of this is unlike any other RV and much more like a home. Turn some lights on. Residential style switches, which is nice. And then coming in here, they have it set up with the bunk bed. So I didn't realize this yesterday when I was in here, but they have a bunk bed that comes down from the top there. So you have the ability to sleep, theoretically, a child down there or a small adult. Same goes for up top. And if you had really little ones, you could fit them back here. So you could sleep, theoretically, 3 down in this whole living space. So this thing being a triple slide means you have an insane amount of space in here. I am having no problems doing full turns. Maybe I'll clip a wall there because I'm close to the island, but how many campers have an island, for example, let alone a big giant farmhouse style sink in the middle, similar faucet to the last camper, which is similar to what I have in our camper too. I like that you have a house style light up on the top here. You've got a really nice glow around this, I don't know what to call it, trim / decorative accent that probably conceals the base of the light. So the fridge that they have in this one is not a Furrion. This one is a Norcold, which is the 10 cubic foot unit. Don't beat up the walls. Ton of space. More space than you could use for most quick camping trips. If you're full time, this would be great. And then much like in the X14, you've got just an ample amount of upper cabinet space. 2 over here in kind of the kitchen cooking area. You got the same Furrion 2-burner cooktop as you have in the X14. Same microwave convection oven. And then you've got more storage up here. They've also done a really good job of placing 12-volt outlets around the camper so you can keep your phone topped off, whatever other accessories. Or they have regular residential style outlets down here, which I'm sure are wired right into your inverter, so you can be completely off-grid. Now, this is definitely bougie. Would I use it? Yeah, I would. But this is a fireplace. Electric, I'm sure, but really probably sets the mood. Oh, look at that. Ooh, it makes heat. It makes good heat, too. That is like, that's no joke. Oh, yeah. You could be, if you were like hooked up to shore power and able to run this infinitely, this will heat the whole camper. No problem. Wow. That's pretty awesome. I thought it was just going to be a novelty, but it's not. It's functional with ambiance. Let's see how easy it is to put this thing up when I have no idea what I'm doing. Nope. That's got to be somehow electric. Oh, that's how. Okay, I figured it out, guys. I used my little brain. I probably have you guys screaming at your screens there while I'm trying to figure this out, but push button for that extra bed to go up. That's pretty slick. I genuinely had no idea that that bed was in here when I was doing a tour yesterday. And I know I mentioned before that someone could easily sleep here. I wasn't really thinking before about the fact that this would fold down and become kind of a nice spacious bed setup. Let's see if I fit. Yeah, I'm a little bit tall, which is kind of expected for most truck camper additional sleeping spaces. But could I do it? Yeah. Would I be, maybe not wanting to do it forever? Sure, but most people that are sleeping in this bed area are probably going to be kids. More big windows before I get up here. A lot of light coming in. And then, not to be outdone by the bigger couch, this one also folds down to the same kind of bed configuration, so that if you have people who are small and want to sleep here, they can at least have some decent real estate. Or if you're just hanging out on your couch, I mean, Marissa would love this camper. She would be like, yeah, let's get one. Because, ours we describe to people as a small apartment on wheels. This is a luxury apartment on wheels. No question. It's monstrous. Now, the bathroom in the Denali is different than the X14. The bathroom is everything in one in terms of shower, toilet, sink. This one, we've got a composting toilet, and what's cool is they have the urine going directly into your black tank, so you don't have to deal with a urine jug, which is one of the worst parts about a Nature's Head. Other part in here is your shower configuration, which plenty of space for a full-size guy like me to shower. And then you've got a sink way down here. Plenty of room for washing your hands, brushing your teeth, stuff like that. Bed space is similar to the X14. I'm sure the specs are like the exact same in terms of, you know, mattress, your ability to sleep here. The storage is very similar to the X14. The only difference is really how you get in and out of the bed, because you have a central kind of walkway on the X14, whereas in the Denali it is a passenger side in and out of the bed. So you would kind of be not crawling over somebody else, but like, this is Marissa's side of the bed. I would be over there. I would have to go pee in the middle of the night. I would need to walk over her feet a little bit or push her feet to the side, which in our camper, she kind of has to do that to me in order to get out of the bed. So it's really not that different than what we're used to. Just like in the X14, you've got these 12-volt outlets in the corners for each person, USB and a regular 12 volts if you needed to plug something in. You've got that at your disposal, and you've also got 120-volt outlets on each side. Now this camper, whoever's buying it, did not choose to put a TV in yet, but it is pre-wired and pre-set up for a TV right there, which is pretty darn nice. Down here in the regular area, this is also set up for a TV here, so you could have two TVs, and they could be pretty big. Like, this is definitely an almost 5-foot long wall, so you could easily have a 48-inch TV up there, no problem. And in the bed, I would say you could easily stuff a 32-inch TV up there. So if you're TV-focused people, which we kind of are, we watch a fair amount of TV in our full-time life, pretty nice to have both options. This big window that is behind me reminds me much of what you would see like in a Host Mammoth, which is one of the perks of these triple slides, is when they have to close the slides all up, you end up with this spot for a pretty big window, providing you tons of light and views outside. Now, I did ask them yesterday when I was talking to Jesse and Lynn about the bathroom and the slide configuration in the Denali. Do you have the ability to get in and go to the bathroom without deploying any of your slides? And the answer is yes. Because the bathroom is situated here and the slide is over there. Now, it probably looks like an optical illusion from where I'm standing, but the slide moves inward and still allows this door to open about this far. So you can get in, go to the bathroom, and you barely have to bump out the slide, or maybe not at all, in order to get to the fridge. You can kind of just like smush your way through here when the slide outs close and go in, grab yourself a snack, and then get back on the road, which are really the two things that you're doing when you stop with a truck camper on a long road trip is I gotta go to the bathroom and I need a snack. So that pretty much wraps up our tour of the Rugged Mountain truck campers that they have here on site, which are Denali's easily their most popular model. All three of the ones on the production line are Denali triple slides, and then the X14 I think will be very, very popular for them because the non-slide setup with massive floor plan and kind of that layout that folks love about an Earth Roamer or a GHD Hilt, or I think the Ross Monsters have that same style rear dinette. It's all very appealing when you start to get into these bigger truck camper configurations. So this is pretty cool. So when we were in here yesterday, this camper had not been done up with all the graphics and stuff like that, and now it's getting that much closer to being finished. Graphics on both sides. Now I think you can get pretty custom with your graphics here if you talk to them, but this one has kind of a traditional swoop configuration, which is very quintessential RV truck camper. Now people are going to be asking me about a smaller version of the X14, which they are working on, and I'll show you where they're at in terms of the prototype. It's very much at its infancy right now. So this, it's kind of crazy to think, is the start of a truck camper. Now, this is only the, kitchen area, the living room area that you'd be standing in. They're working on how they want to lay it out, how they want to try and accomplish the bathroom dreams, and do all of that in a 12-foot floor plan instead of a 14-foot floor plan like the X14 is. If I had to choose, this would probably be my dream setup from Rugged Mountain. Because I already have the 60-inch cab to axle configuration, on my truck. I don't really want to be getting a new truck, but I do love what they're doing with the X14. I would just need it in a configuration that fits my particular truck, and they know that there's an attainable market out there for that, and so they're in the process of building this. When it's going to be done, I have no clue. I don't think they quite know yet, because they're so busy building other truck campers for other people that this is going to be something that they work on over time. They also build tiny houses here, which I didn't know until I started talking to these guys yesterday, and they were showing me around. But they build probably about double the number of tiny homes per year that they do of truck campers. So anything you need for mobile living here at Rugged Mountain. That's about it, folks. We'll pick you up on the next one. Be sure to like this video, subscribe. We're headed to Alaska. Didn't really talk about that a whole lot in this video, but Boise is on our way up to Alaska, so happy to stop in here at Rugged Mountain and check out some cool truck campers that most people don't get to see in person. So I'm stoked that I got to. Thanks, guys. Bye.